Another interesting question that was asked recently, and very apt for the times, at least in, if you're watching this in 2020, is what did you learn from COVID-19? Now, I would say there is no right answer to such a question. I think here is where the interviewer is just trying to see how you think through certain problems and how you think about um, things from a bigger picture. And let's say if I were asked this question, I would answer this at in in the following fashion. So I would say I've learned three specific things from COVID-19. One is regarding the supply chain. I've learned something about leadership, and I've learned something about the stock market. Now, about the supply chain, I would say that we've learned that we have a very brittle supply chain where the just in time strategy is great for the stock price, but is disastrous during a pandemic. And when it comes to leadership, what I've learned is that we've had very extreme reactions. There is one school of thinking which is like the epidemiologist, where let's just shut down the whole world. And then there's this other school of thinking which thinks like an economist, saying, no, let's keep everything open because otherwise, the economy is just going to go off the rails. So, and we've had world leaders react in different forms, and I would think that it's important for leaders to think from both perspectives, and potentially there is a sweet spot which is potentially a middle ground between these two. And I think the third and very interesting thing that I've learned is about the stock market. So, two things about the stock market that I've learned is that one, people can be very irrational and kind of overweight the present, which kind of explains the massive crash in the stock market that happened in March. But also, overall, uh, you know, the stock market is very long term focused, and is basically meant to exist for perpetuity. So, which kind of explains the rise in stock prices that we've had since that disastrous crash in March. So this is just the way I would think through the answer to such a question, and there is no right answer. For example, depending on the industry you work in, or depending on the kind of role that you are applying to, you could answer this question, with regard to remote work, with regard to cybersecurity, or the importance of sports and entertainment. So really, I would say, you know, depending on the interview, the company, the role that you're applying to, uh, pick the answer that suits you, and you can of course use some of the answers that I have given. So yeah, I wish you luck if this question is asked, and please let me know how you answered this question. Okay.